What's up guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to this gorgeous 2015 Audi R8 V10 Spyder. I just want to give a huge thank you and shout out to Nate for allowing me to review his beautiful R8. This R8 actually is available for rent on Turo and a couple other platforms, so I'll go ahead and link all of that information down in the description box below if you're interested in taking this R8 for a spin in the Washington DC area. This is going to be a full review and test drive of this R8. I actually have already done a review on another R8 of this generation. Ironically, it was Nate's old V8 R8, and I'll go ahead and link that video in the top right-hand corner of this one. But I wanted to showcase this example today as he recently just picked it up, and this is a really unique example as it's the facelift last model year of this generation R8. So let's go ahead and kick things off with a little bit of background on the R8. The R8 was Audi's first supercar slash sports car, if you will, in this class. It was debuted for the 2006 model year. Starting right up front here, you have the updated LED headlights for the facelift. The R8 in general was one of the first cars to pioneer LED daytime running lights, and this car is no exception. It has a gorgeous DRL signature. You also have some updated grills up front here for the facelift with the Quattro script right there in the center grille. You have the radiators and oil coolers on the left and right sides of the headlights in those areas respectively. With the R8 obviously being mid-engine, you have a small front trunk up here. You can go ahead and unlock it with the key right here, or there's a button on the interior. There's just a latch you can stick your hand under there, and you have around 3.5 cubic feet of storage up here. You can see it actually is pretty deep, so you can probably get a couple overnight bags in here or anything, but no golf clubs or stuff like that. You have an interior illumination as well and a 12-volt socket. You also have some accessibility items like the windshield washer fluid. As you can probably tell, the wheels on this R8 are not stock. They are a gorgeous set of 20-inch stasis design. You can see there are a 245 front section tire and a 6-piston brake behind there. You can see the wave pattern rotors, which were supposedly to help shave a little bit of weight off the front end of the car here, but honestly, they just look cool. I believe the ceramic option was available on this car as well. Taking a few steps back, you can see how distinct the side profile is of the R8. It really set the trend for a lot of supercars to follow. You can also see the carbon side blade, because this is a Spyder, is not really equipped on this car. If it was the coupe model, you can kind of have that finished all the way up into the kind of C-pillar, if you will. But you still have the iconic kind of flush-mounted door handles right there. The V10 badging on the front fender, I forgot to mention. You also have updated design for the wing mirrors for the facelift model. Around back, you have a set of massive 335 section tires on the same gorgeous 20-inch stasis design wheels. The 4-piston brake calipers and the wave design rotors continue as well. On the rear kind of engine cover, you can see the carbon fiber vents, if you will, to let all the heat out from that V10, which we'll talk about in a second. You can see you also have the updated LED taillights for the facelift as well. Some piano black trim underneath them with some cooling channels as well. For the keen-eyed viewers, you might notice that the facelift R8 has the oval exhaust tips for both the V8 and the V10. Previously on the pre-facelift, the V8 models would have the quad exhaust and the V10 would have these kind of oval shape, but I believe they carried this design over into both the models later in the production line. This is a small active aerodynamic spoiler as well that'll raise, I believe, at around 70 miles an hour or so. There's also a button to control it on the interior, which I'll show you guys in a second. And just the R8 itself is not a very big car. I believe it's around 175 inches long and has a 104-inch wheelbase. So it looks, you know, really kind of small in person, but on the inside, it's actually a packaging masterpiece with how much space you have. Let's go ahead and pop the engine cover on this car. The accessory power actually has to be on, but there's a button to do so right here on the interior. Under the engine cover of the R8 V10 Spyder, as its name suggests, is a 5.2-liter direct injected V10. That's about all you can see of this engine in the convertible versions of this car. It makes 525 horsepower and around 390 foot-pounds of torque. For the facelift R8, it was connected to a new DSG 7-speed dual clutch unit. The convertible weighs around 3,700 pounds, which is around 400 pounds more than the coupe model, but with the open air experience with the V10, I think it's almost worth it. Like most Audis, this car is all-wheel drive with its famous Quattro system. 0 to 60 with launch control is in the low 3-second range, and top speed is in excess of 198 miles an hour. There are also a couple different options for the engine of the R8 in general. You still had the V8 version, even all the way up into 2015. I think that had around 430 horsepower. And if you had the coupe model of this car, you can also equip it with the V10 Plus package, which increased the horsepower up to 550. This R8 also has a custom X-pipe, so it sounds absolutely incredible, and I'll be sure to film some clips of that here shortly. On the inside, you have a gorgeous but somewhat dated interior. For the facelift R8, you can see the quilted pattern that they added on the leather for the door panel, as well as the front seats. You also have some carbon fiber trim that was optional on this massive grab handle that feels really nice. Bang & Olufsen sound system. You also had an updated 3-spoke flat bottom steering wheel with the kind of perforated texture on the 9 and 3 grips. Taking a step inside this car, you obviously want to mind how low it is to the ground, but to be honest, the clearance and everything is not too bad, and it's easily accessible once you're in here. You also have updated gauges for the facelift as well as for the V10. You have updated font as well as a red ring around the tachometer and speedometer there. But let's go ahead and fire this beast up. Like I said, somewhat dated technology in here, so you do have the Audi switchblade key, but nonetheless, you go ahead and put it in the ignition like so. You can switch it to the first setting there to put it in accessory mode. Put your foot on the brake and turn the key to start. You can see some lights on the dash here. I believe this car has aftermarket brake pads, so the sensor is kind of tripping out a little bit, as well as the tire pressure monitoring because this was a colder morning. Taking a quick look at the rest of the interior of this car here, you can see a very nice leather wrapped dashboard here with some stitching all around the infotainment, the additional carbon fiber trim. This is the Audi MMI infotainment. It is very old and dated. A lot of people swap these out for Apple CarPlay units. You have a couple shortcut menus right here for car information, stuff like that, but I don't even think you have like Bluetooth audio in this thing. You have to go to the aftermarket for that. Underneath, you also have the climate controls, very self-explanatory here with the temperature, the fan speed, the air distribution. This car also has heated seats. This is the controller for the updated 7-speed dual clutch automatic. You can see right now it's in neutral all the way over and to the right. If you want to put it in automatic mode, you kick it over once and you can see you have A1 in the cluster. One more time puts you in manual mode, and you could use these very nice paddle shifters to control the transmission. You also have a capability to do so down here as well. The reverse is over and down to the right. You can see this one is equipped with the backup camera in 2015 resolution, but it's still a nice feature. You have a sport mode button right here, which on the pre-facelift R8s was an essential thing to have on for the R-tronic single clutch, but because this is the new dual clutch, this just kind of makes everything a lot more enjoyable of a driving experience. You have the adaptive suspension control for the mag ride, the traction control, stability control, defeat, the hazard switch, the control for that rear spoiler I mentioned earlier, as well as the parking sensor disable function. A little bit further down, you have the controls for the convertible soft top, obviously. I believe you can activate this up to speeds of 30 miles an hour or so. You also have this small button right here to control the glass rear window. So you can actually have the top up, but this window down to get a enjoyable V10 Symphony behind your head. You have the old school manual handbrake right here. Obviously, this is a feature that's not available in a lot of new cars, but very nice to see it here. And a little bit of storage behind the cup holders as well for the iPod charging cable and stuff, which like I showed you for the infotainment. You also have some storage nets behind the rear seats as well. With that all being said, let's go ahead and rev this beautiful V10 up here. So as you guys can hear, this car sounds absolutely incredible. It's such an iconic exhaust note for this V10. This one, like I said, has the X pipe, so it just really screams here. But with the tour of the R8 completed, let's go ahead and hook the cameras up and do what you should do in any R8, is take this thing for a spin. All right, guys, welcome to the inside of the R8 Spyder here. Just listen to this. I mean, what more needs to be said, honestly? This is one of the best sounding engines ever created, in my opinion. I apologize for maybe some of the wind noise here. That's sort of the best camera angle that I could get, but obviously you want to drive this car with the top down. This car, like I said, has a aftermarket X-pipe, so it really lets that V10 sing. As we're taking some of these turns here, the body roll is non-existent. Obviously, we're not pushing this car or anything like that, but you can just feel how stable and planted this car is on the road. That's been a signature of every Audi that I've owned, and it's something that I really appreciate in these cars, is how rock solid and stable they feel pretty much at any speed. If you go ahead and put the car in manual mode, I just tapped one of the paddle shifters here. I'll show you guys how quick this transmission is. Just incredible. And I mean, it's the best transmission in the world for a reason. Just sounds absolutely incredible while you're going through the gears here. This is the transmission the R8 should have come with when it debuted. I know the dual clutch transmission wasn't really around when this car came out, or probably couldn't handle the power. But with this V10 and this made it to this transmission, it's one of the best driving experiences I think I've had in a long time. If you go ahead and put the car in sport mode, which is the button down here that I showed you guys, you can hear the exhaust valves actually open up, and it's it's even louder in here. Just incredible. I don't know if this is an X-Pipe or what, or if this is catless, but this car is incredible. Just listen to these downshifts. It just like barks. It's an incredible exhaust note. Every time you get behind the wheel. It's also so livable in here. That's what I was saying earlier. You know, if you're over 6 feet tall, you will definitely fit in here. Obviously the Spyder, your hair's kind of maybe flow in the wind a little bit more, but it's just a daily driver supercar, and that's why it's been so popular with so many people. It just fits the needs of pretty much everyone. The other thing with these R8s is kind of how quote-unquote affordable they are now. Now I know like 100 grand is a ton of money, but with the amount of performance this car offers, it's really an incredible package. You know, this, you know, the interior is obviously a little bit dated and everything, but I would just throw an Apple CarPlay unit in here or something and kind of be done with it. The quality is just really nice overall. So it's really the technology that you have to worry about. Hopefully you guys can hear me, but on the highway, the wind noise actually isn't too bad. Obviously we have all the windows up and that rear glass up, and it's actually pretty secluded in here. You know, the transmission is in 7th gear. This one has a little bit more drone, if you will, because of the, you know, the X-Pipe and everything. But overall, it's actually pretty civilized in here. I'm impressed. This thing is fast too, guys. I mean, 525 horsepower is nothing to scoff at. I mean, I know in the age of electrification and stuff like that, you know, everything has 1,000 horsepower, but 500 horsepower is nothing to sneeze at. And there's also like a lot of torque, surprisingly, from this V10. I know it's only rated at like 390 foot-pounds or something like that, which doesn't sound like a lot, but I think it's pretty low down in the rev band, so you can hear that it actually, it's puts you back in your seat as well at low speeds or low RPMs. Brakes also feel really nice on this car. I know they're not the carbon ceramics or anything like that, but they have the 6-piston front calipers as well. So I mean, the bite is really good at the top of the pedal. They're really good feel, kind of modulating them, if you will. So I think only if you're taking this thing on the track or something like that is where you need that extra performance. Plus there's like so much extra like maintenance and stuff that's required. Listen to those downshifts, just absolutely incredible. Turn-in is also super sharp on this thing. I guess it's not like the lightest front end ever, because it's not, you know, it has the heavy all-wheel drive components, but I mean, when you're driving this thing on the road, you barely feel that, and you really just feel how planted and well-mannered this car is. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed the full review and test drive of this beautiful 2015 Audi R8 V10 Spyder. Once again, a huge thank you and shout out to Nate again for allowing me to review his R8. It is available for rent, and I'll have all of his contact information in the description box below. If you did enjoy this video, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe for a ton of cool content coming very soon, and I'll catch you in the next one.